the show, I guess. Not entirely sure what I'm calling this one. I don't even remember what the thumbnail is. Yeah, sorry I was a couple of minutes late. The reason this time, you may have all noticed that it's slightly sunshiny in England at the minute. Came upstairs, got all my gear ready, got my tripod ready, got my teas, got my water, got my notes, went to sit down, and the angle that I had been sitting for the wrestling shows that I do is now bathed in sunshine because our Villex blinds upstairs. Basically, there's a small crack basically that the Villex does not cover, which was shining directly into the camera. So basically, I've had to move everything across the way. So I'm now sat on the bedroom. Sat on the bed again, which was the whole reason that I moved the whole studio, if you like, the other way round. So after all that work, I'm now sat back where I was in the first place. So yes, there we go. Anyway, it does not matter. Yeah, welcome to Liverpool. Hi, how you doing? You all right? Happy World Cup. Happy World Cup. Yeah, first, I'm just trying to think. I yeah, I was gonna do. Sorry, cat got my tongue there. Yeah, no, basically, I was going to do like some sort of afternoon show because Mrs. Meta and Baby Meta are currently out shopping, I think, or do whatever it is they're doing, like throwing conkers at cars, knowing them too. God knows what they're doing. So yeah, I thought I'd do it on football because I've not really talked about Liverpool that much. I did like a Friday show, but it wasn't the actual Friday show. Basically because it was so hot and I had so much to do on the Friday, and yeah, I just thought I'd talk about it a little bit more today. There's not loads and loads of news. The Jurgen thing's kind of a bit of a cheat on my behalf, to be honest, but I have watched the full interview now. I literally finished watching it about half an hour, and it was half an hour ago, and it was like super interesting. So I'll talk about that in a minute. And yeah, basically, we'll just get into it. Thanks everyone for watching the wrestling content. I've been doing so many different things. I'm not sure what I'm thanking anyone for anymore at the minute. There was a boatload of toy shorts. I know that. There were my charity shop shorts, which seem to get a good reception. So I'm going to carry on with that, I think. And I'm going to do some more wrestling content. I actually had like an idea this morning, which, as most of you know who will know me, basically, sometimes I'll be walking down the street and go, idea, and then the rest of the day just goes. So I had one of those ideas about some wrestling stuff. In terms of the Liverpool stuff, I'm going to get back to doing the Friday night show at 6 o'clock this Friday and go from there, basically. So hopefully they'll. You never know. We might sign someone at some stage. Well, I mean, if Tottenham have left any players for anyone else to sign, bloody honestly, I don't know if anyone's noticed this. Tottenham Hotspur must have signed what 50 players in about a week. Like, what is going? Where are they getting all this money from? By the way, as well, because they're not even in Champions League. It's just really weird. Anyway, never mind Spurs. So yeah, I'll get into all that. Let you know, guys, know what I'm doing. I've done some more work on the room. In fact, I will show you while you were on. So there's been a lot of progress. That's my new thingy chair that I made the other day. A lot of sellotape and a lot of patience makes all the difference. That is my workstation, basically. Laptop that needs repairing. That is where everything is going to be written, packaged, and this, that, and the other. That's my first lot of boxes, and yeah, it is all going to plan. So I think can't say too much yet, but I think we're on course to be starting that endeavour perhaps the last week of July. So I think we're looking at about 3 weeks' time, basically. A couple of letters I need to send, one of which is I'm going to find it very humorous. I don't necessarily think the people receiving the letter will share that. Yeah. I just don't think they'll like that very much, and I'll leave it at that. Anyway, so yeah, all of that's to come. Bit nervous about it, but I am also very excited as well. Went to another charity shop yesterday. Went to Wakefield. Hopefully, yeah, saw the Deutschland shirt. I was very, very tempted, yeah, to buy that shirt. I don't know if you've seen it or not. But like, if you've not seen it, there was this. When I went to Wakey yesterday, there was like this. It's like an old school retro Germany shirt, and it's got the Deutschland like logo there, but it's like done in the style of Adidas's kind of thing. And it looks so good. I mean, it was a bit tatty here and there because I think it was quite an old one, but it was just one of those, yeah, where I was just like, obviously, I've got to start thinking about prices and stuff now. And it was a tenner, and I'm like, I'm not supposed to be buying these things for me to wear. Although I was very tempted, then I was like, Leon, you're here to basically run a business. This is not, these are not shirts for you to buy and wear. Basically, I also saw. I put this on the channel yesterday. A Torino shirt. Now, I have never seen any Torino merchandise in this country of 46 years that I've been alive ever. But it was beautiful, beautiful Torino shirt. I think it was about, I want to say it was from about 20 odd years ago or something like that. It was absolutely fantastic. But again, it's like 20 quid. And I'm like, can I get this is the problem I'm gonna have, folks, to be honest. Can I guarantee that I can, and again, before YouTube says anything, this isn't a paid promotion. I'm telling the people what I'm doing in my private life, blah blah blah, etc. etc. Um Basically, can I guarantee if I fork out 20 quid for that, am I going to get, first of all, am I going to get 20 quid back? And secondly, can I advance on it? Because even if I got 20 quid back, then it's just like, well, yeah, I've just basically gone in a loop for no reason. So I had to say no to that one, unfortunately. But little recommendation, folks: if you are charity shop minded and you are going to go into the same sort of line of work that I'm going to go into the next 3 weeks, and if you are in the Yorkshire region, I would definitely recommend Wakefield for charity shops and stuff. It was really, really good. Managed to get a Scream shirt. That's on the vlog from yesterday as well. I got a picture frame. Which now has Ric Flair's signed autograph in. So you never know. If you have a look on a certain thing that rhymes with rebate, you might just see that in a few weeks. Anyway. Yes, there we go. Long time coming. Don't be nervous. Sorry about God. Oh, yeah, to be honest, yeah, it was fun. Do you know yet the really odd thing? The really really odd thing is like Croatia have actually managed. I mean, technically, they've managed to give themselves a hard match. Like, well, I mean, it's swinging roundabouts, isn't it? Basically, yeah, we could have ended up with Argentina, Portugal, or Colombia. Death by sword, death by machine gun, death by blade. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, you'd probably say Argentina because the quality of players they've got, but then you could say Portugal. We've ended up with Colombia. I mean, obviously, look, there's no shade on Colombia. They've got a fantastic team. Obviously, Lucho used to play for us. They've got a number of other very, very good technical players and all that business. Are Colombia as good as Portugal and Argentina? I just personally, I'd say Argentina were the best out of the all three. So at least we've missed them. Are Colombia as good as Portugal? I don't think they're a million miles off, to be honest. No. So like, the good thing is, I think there was one stage where we could have got Mexico. Now, the last thing I needed was for us to have a altercation with one of the home countries, basically. And I was just like, I'm not sure if I fancy Ghana going into the Azteca Stadium with like 120,000 people screaming at them and doing the W sign and all that business. At least with Colombia, I mean, obviously Colombia's nearer that region of the world than Ghana, so they are going to have a lot of the home support. But you'd still have to go with Colombia. But I don't know. I reckon there's a chance. It's a very, very small chance, but I reckon we've got a chance. Look, to be honest, yeah, at the end of the day, as a Ghana fan, if you'd have told me we would have got out of that group, I would have ripped your arm off for it. So I am super, super proud of the lads yesterday and the day before. And I mean, the Panama match wasn't great, um, but they won at the end of the day. I thought they were superb against England defensively. By the way, I shouldn't throw shade at my own country. This whole ridiculing of Ghana business is getting a bit tiresome. Um, like, I'm not being funny, but there are a lot of not all England fans. I mean, a lot of my mates who I went to watch the football with were like, "Oh, well done, lad, blah blah blah," and shaking my hands to this. And most England fans have been very, very gracious. Said, "Oh yeah, well done, Ghana deserved a point." But you're getting this thing at the moment where, I mean, the excuses are just ridiculous. I was quite disappointed in Harry Kane. I've got to be honest. I've got a lot of respect for Harry Kane, and maybe it was the emotion of the moment, and perhaps he wasn't clearly thinking what he's saying. Look, just to clarify, Harry Kane was not being rude. He didn't call us arseholes or anything like that. But like, it was just this whole. Well, I mean, what do you expect when a team plays a low block and don't attempt to go forward? It's like, Harry, mate, that's that. It's not your right to tell Ghana how to play football, and you have some of the most expensive. I think that England squad is. I was reading the other day. It's something ridiculous, like the fifth most expensively assembled. That's easy for me to say. Um, World Cup squad of all time, or it's something along that. I'm not totally sure what it is. Point is, it's like Ghana's squad is not anywhere near worth that sort of money. We still have players. I mean, the goalkeeper plays for Hearts of Oak, which is if you don't know Hearts of Oak, that's the local team in Accra, which is the capital city of Ghana. And quite a few of the squad still is from the Ghanaian Premier League. And again, it's not throwing shade; it's just a reality, basically. And I mean, in terms of standard of football, I haven't watched the Ghanaian league since I was a kid, but you would imagine if I had to take an educated guess, I would say somewhere along the lines of League Two in England / Conference League, give or take. And a lot of our players are from very good clubs in Europe, but they aren't from like your Madrids, your Bayern Munich's, Dortmund's, like Arsenal, and whoever else. Basically, they're not from them at the end of the day. And it's just like, who do you think you are? Like, you know what I mean? You can't go around telling us how we're meant to play. And it's like if Ghana had come forward and said, "Yeah, we're going to take on England," blah 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 blah. Let's have it right. We would have got ripped to shreds. So I don't know. I thought it was very, very poor, to be honest, by a lot of the media, by Kane, a couple of the players. Bellingham was like flapping his gums about it as well after that fight. He tried to start with one of our coaches for some reason. Then he realised how big John Mensah was and decided to run away from him, which was quite funny actually. But yeah, it's like I was still wishing them the best, but it was like the reason I chose Ghana over England, this really doesn't help. Also, I'm a Liverpool fan as it is. Not hugely bothered about the national team. That sort of aristocratic arrogance does not really help matters, in my opinion. But hey, anyway, that's just my little train of thought about Ghana, basically. But yeah, yeah. To be honest, yeah, I think they've got a chance to get to Colombia. I think you'd have to say Colombia are favourites. Obviously, I reckon you're talking what 70-30 in Colombia's favour, maybe even 80-20. But if Ghana can subdue them defensively, keep Lucho quiet, then who knows? Who knows? We'll wait and see. I don't know anything about the draw photos. I did write some notes earlier, but I've misplaced them. Basically, I don't know when any of the games are or anything. I think Ghana are playing Colombia. I might be wrong about this, but I want to say it's on Thursday or Friday or something like that. And for those asking, yes, I will be in the pub again to watch Ghana. But yeah, no, it's been good so far. I haven't totally enjoyed the World Cup. I mean, again, for me, it's kind of like it's been tough watching this World Cup, and again, you don't want to be rude because I know obviously I've got American friends on the channel who've been really, really nice to me and everything. And there are more nice Americans than there are bad Americans, and I fully understand that. However, um, some of the scenes that have been going on during this World Cup, let alone what's going on in the country at the minute, I mean, you couldn't pay me to be within 5,000 miles of that place at the minute. I mean, I think there was some sort of incident the other day. Did anyone hear the thing about the tipping in the States? Sorry, I'll get back onto the things in a minute. So when you go to the United States, basically, for those of you who've never been, and I didn't know this at the start because I'm an English lad, and I am a stupid English lad, and I was even stupider in my mid-20s. I went to New York City, right? Um, and I did not know about the tipping. So I go over there, and I don't know, they've got like steaks for like, I don't know, a rough equivalent English price of £2. And I thought, steak for £2, get in, nice one. So um, pay the lady £2, and then she sort of stands there, and I'm like, can I eat my steak? What is going on? And she sort of puts her hands out, and I'm like, uh, you have very nice nails. Where did you get them done? What are you doing, kind of thing. And then someone basically, oh, Clizzy, how you doing, Clizzy? You all right? Oh, I forgot to say hello to someone actually. Sorry. Hello, Lady Lakyambia. Uh, Hello, 3529, if you were on. Sorry, I completely forgot to say hi. Yes. Um, so basically, long story short, folks, I didn't know anything about this tipping thing. And like this woman sat there with her hand out, and I'm just like, they are very, 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 very nice nails. Please go away. And then she had to say, where, and she actually said, where's the tip? And I was like, I went fully English because obviously you guys are telling English, but like my English is a bit scattergun all over the place. I went fully British. I was like, I beg your pardon, young lady. I was like, what do you mean a tip? It's just like that's how it works in this country. It's like, well, it don't work like that in my country, love. It says £2 for a steak. It says £2 for a steak. Jog on. Um, that did not go down well at all, basically. And then I tried it somewhere else, and like they've got security in America. I could see these waitresses walking over to security guards, and I was like, oh, right, okay. How much is the service charge? You know what I mean? But anyway, there was I'm trying to think what it was. I think it was one of the England games. So these lads go along. You get like the beer pitchers, like obviously in Germany, yeah, you're not on one about. When you get those massive F off Stein things. There was this one lad who brought like I don't know 3 of these massive beer jugs for like God knows how much it was, $60-70, and they split it between like I don't know 8 or 9 lads and a couple of girls, whatever the case may be. Anyway, so this fella's carrying the beer along, and all of a sudden this woman basically comes bounding along, and she's doing the same thing that I just said that lady did to me, and like holding her hands out. This fellow was like, "Can I put the drinks down first, please?" So like was like, "Yeah, what do you want?" It's just like, "Where's the tip?" And the English fellow was like, he didn't know either. I don't think it's one of these universal things. I don't think a lot of people know about the Americans. I mean, obviously you see it in movies and stuff and all that business. Um, but this fellow was like, "You what, love?" It's like, "Where's the tip?" It's just like, um, I'd love for someone to say, "Where's the tip?" 3:30 Exeter. That horse in lane 2. I don't think that would go down very well at all, actually. Yeah, and it turned into this huge rap. If you have a look on Instagram, it might not be completely as I've said it, but it's something along the lines of England fan argues with rude American woman or something like that. Sorry, I'm just getting my tea because it's going to get cold. Mm. Thank God it's not as warm today, and I can actually have a cup of bloody English tea for a change. Um, but yeah, she was being really, really rude to this bloke, and the bloke turned around and said, "You ain't having a tip," and basically told her to go away, as many of us would do in a slightly different choice of phrasing and vernacular were we faced with the same rudeness, I'm sure. So, but yeah, I mean, I suppose, to be fair, it's not been as bad as I was expecting in the States. I mean, there's not been as many incidents that I'm aware of, but I mean, one thing, I don't know if anyone's seen the pitches. Um, I think it might have been the Germany game, actually, to be honest. Was it the Germany Ecuador game? I don't know if it was the Germany Ecuador game, but definitely yesterday, the pitch that England were playing Panama on. I mean, look, I don't like bowling green pitches. I'm an old school lad at the end of the day. Give me the pitches back from the 90s. We're a bit of zip on them, a few cut ups of turf here and there, and that'll do me. You know what I mean? But like, you at the same time, you do expect a higher standard of pitch at the premier event of world football than has so far been furnished. I mean, that pitch yesterday that England were playing on looked like. I mean, it looked basically. I live across the road from the pitch, South Leeds. It looked like one of the youth bloody pitches that we've got over the road. You know, it was absolutely bloody awful. Oh, oh God damn, that's cool. So yeah, it's not been as bad as I was expecting, but I mean, I'm sorry to be the old man, but I mentioned this the other day. Sorry if I'm going over different ground, same ground even. That 10-second count. I mean, my goodness me. If I never hear 10, 9, 8, 7, if I never hear that again, it won't be a moment too buggering soon. The hydration break, I was for it at first. I am now steadfastly against. I'm not against the players taking on water, by the way. Just to clarify on that heat, we need to take care of the players in the searing heat. My issue is when one of the stadiums was a closed stadium that was ventilated, i.e., you've got a fan on, I've got a fan on now at the minute. And so basically, just think of it like this: the stadium had a big old fan, and it was most people's body temperatures were fine, not a problem, this, that, and the other. Why do we need hydration in that case for? Or if there is to be a hydration break, it does not need to be 3 minutes. I clocked the other day, and this is the worst I've seen so far. I don't know if it was the Austria match last night. 'Cause I came home from my mother's house. This comment why I'm a bit wired and all over the place this afternoon. Because we were having a good chat. We watched the Ghana game and this, that, and the other. And I knew what was going to happen. Knew what was going to happen. So me and Mum had a couple of drinks last night, and I had a bit of like whiskey left over. And Mum, shout out to Mum, by the way. Thank you for the delicious dinner. It was lovely. Um, my mummy sent me home with some delicious dinner, which was meant to be for today, basically. So you know where this is going straight away. And then I get alerts on my phone as I go through the door, basically saying Austria are now playing. Who's Austria playing this stuff? Austria, Algeria. And I said to myself, don't do it. You know what's going to happen. 67 minutes into the second half, you're talking, it's what is it, like 3:45 in the morning. My son's due downstairs at 6:30. I'm like, oh, for the love of God Almighty. So basically, I just cracked on and just carried on eating the rest of me folded up dinner that my mum gave me, and had that little bit of whiskey and this, that, and the other. And then lo and behold, my son came in 2 hours later, jumped on my belly as per usual. As most children do to their fathers, we seem to have undertaken some sort of Hippocratic oath to be jumped on by children as fathers. Um, and yeah, basically, long story short, I had to have a couple of hours sleep this afternoon because I was bloody exhausted, basically. Anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you all that. Let's have a look. Yes, excellent. Yep, haha. Happy for some. Hey, Cardi, how you doing? Thanks for the message last night, Cards. Um, I'm delighted, Cardi. I'm delighted, Cardi. Before I answer that, Cardi, let me do my usual thing. Folks, if you are listening on podcasts, you know what I'm like by now because I've been doing this for like well over 10 months. I will promise I will get onto some Liverpool bits and pieces in a minute, so just indulge me. I was delighted, Cardi, for Sami Zayn. It was it was a hell of a moment. That bit at the end where he was crying, like I know there's kayfabe in wrestling, but that you can't make shit up like that. You could tell that was genuinely emotional. Like it's gonna be I don't know how they're going to play this now with Sammy, because basically, Cardi, like, obviously, as you know, Sammy's a heel. But everyone was delighted yesterday that Cody had lost that title. I know he's still a heel in the States. Maybe I was thinking, Cardi, that maybe they could do. I don't know if you remember from back in the day when Bret Hart was like a heel in the United States, but like a babyface everywhere else, like in Canada and across Europe, this, that, and the other. A bit like the rest of the world is with the United States now, really. And it's going to be very interesting to see how they play. I mean, personally, Cardi, I think for my money, I don't know if you saw these polls that I've been putting up. Congratulations to Liv Morgan, by the way. She has unanimously won the poll that I put up for best wrestler the other day. She's been in 3 rounds that I've done, and basically she's wiped the floor with everyone. So apparently, Liv Morgan is the best wrestler of the year, which is fine because Liv Morgan's absolutely outstanding wrestler. But I was slightly surprised with that poll. But yeah, no, in terms of best wrestler this year for me, Cardi, it's got to be Sami Zayn. I mean, his work that he did with Trick Williams was, I'd go as far to say, revolutionary. Absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding work that he put in. The feud that he's had with Cody, the way he's played with the audience emotions has been absolutely superb. That triple threat, the other triple threat, the Gunther Cody Rhodes title match, absolute work of art from Zayn. Work of art. He owned that show. It was bloody superb. Absolutely superb. So yeah, Sami Zayn. When people say he deserves it, there's no one who deserves to be champion more in that company than Sami Zayn. And I really hope. I think it's going to be hot shot in the title. I think Rhodes wins it back at SummerSlam, or maybe Gunther gets it. I really, really hope that Sami Zayn keeps that belt for a long time. I'd love to see him get all the way to WrestleMania and defend it and remain champion. I mean, Mania's what are we on now? Are we in July yet, or is it still June? No, it's still June. Isn't it? What are you talking? There's another 6 months this year. Mania's, yeah, he's talking. Is Sami Zayn can have that belt in 10 months? I'd say it's very, very unlikely. But yeah, no. Just to say, Cardi, I was delighted with Sami Zayn. I thought it was an astonishingly good performance by him. I mean, the way he can manipulate crowd emotion. And I didn't really get this about Sammy. I've been watching far too much World Cup. The way Sammy can manipulate a crowd is absolutely brilliant. At the moment, he is the master of doing it, and I don't think there's anyone who is better at crowd manipulation, certainly, than Sammy. And like I said, I mean, his wrestling is fantastic as well. I mean, the Halula kick. He's got the aerial moves. He's got the ground game. He's just Sami Zayn is just a pleasure to watch at the minute. I was very surprised that Kevin Owens didn't show. I was fully expecting when Sammy got the belt, Cardi, and he's holding it over his head, and I'm sat there going, "Hang on, there's another 2 minutes." Because I was watching it late. I had to watch it on tape delay. And I was like, "Oh, are we going to have Kevin Owens music hit?" Because they keep mentioning Owens. But yeah, no, sadly, KO did not turn up, and I really hope Kevin Owens is going to get better because, as we once said about Divock Origi, wrestling is nothing without Kevin Owens. But yeah, no, absolutely superb. I was delighted for him, Cardi. You scared me. Thank you, Clizzy. It's just what a bloke wants to be. Uh, that's fine. It was the Germany game. My name is Clint. Nice to meet you guys. Oh, Clint. Hello, Clint. Yes, welcome, mate. Welcome. How are you? Clint is a very cool name, by the way. Also a name of one of the best actors of all time, in my opinion. Um, Sorry, folks. You know what I'm like with water at the best of times. That must be. I think that's water bottle number 6 today already. I did my record the other day, guys. I must have drank. I'm not on about beer. I'm just on about purely water or like fruit juice or anything like that. I must have had. I think I clocked it at 16 pints of water. as it not well, yeah, pint glasses of water. Now I can do 6 or 7 in a day. Six, I can do 6, 7, 8, whatever in a day quite easily. 16. I mean, my stomach, bloody hell, honestly. Do you remember that? Has any of you guys ever seen that like silhouette of Alfred Hitchcock? Honestly, you turn me the other way around. Literally, I look like Hitch. Christ Almighty. Um, yeah. Anyway, I'm sure you guys don't need to know that. But yeah, no, it's still super hot here. Still super hot. So yeah, I'm just getting through water like a bastard at the moment. Yes, let's have a look. Rangers just signed Ben God. Oh, did they? He used to be good, Godfrey, didn't he, back in the day? Because I think Rafa had him for a while. When he was Agent Rafa, when he went to Everton, which still makes me laugh to this day. God bless Rafa. Wins the European Cup and nearly relegates Everton. Honestly, God, they would build a statue if that had happened. Yeah, Godfrey was at he was at the Ev, wasn't he, Cardi? And then he went to. Oh, actually, no. Did he come from Norwich to the Ev, and then did he go out to? Was it Sheffield United, or am I thinking of someone else? I think I'm thinking of someone else. Wow. Okay, fair enough. I know that's the dark side for you, but was he ever any good? Never watched any of it. Well, like I said, Cardi, he because I've had a kid, basically, I've lost a lot of timelines over the last 10 years. So sometimes when I think something was 5 years ago, it's actually 10 years ago, and vice versa. So I think Ben Godfrey first came on the scene 8 years ago. It would be a rough guess. I'm not too sure. He had a really good start, I think, at Norwich. Then he had a decent go at Everton. I don't know if he ever played for England, but I'm very sure that he got called up, and there was a lot of buzz about him and everything. Then I want to say he got injured, unless I am talking about someone else. I don't think I am. I know he had a massive injury. I'm sure he went on loan to Sheffield United also. There was an Everton player that went on loan to Sheffield United and made one of the most appalling and wretched tackles on someone basically and nearly broke the leg. I apologise, Ben Godfrey, if that wasn't you, but I'm sure it was him. I might be. And then, to be honest, Cardi, I've not really heard much of Ben Godfrey since then, to be honest. So where was he? Where was he playing? I hope they give him a decent run. It would be amazing to get interaction with Sammy in the bloodline. Well, tune in tonight, Cardi, if you can do, because I'm going to do my review of Knights of Champions. So I have, folks, just to do a little bit of selling, as wrestlers would say. I have the best wrestling night of all time tonight because not only am I going to put this ye old camera back on and waffle on about Knights of Champions, I also have Triple A to watch that I'm going to watch just before AEW Forbidden Door comes on. And because of various circumstances, I am not at work tomorrow, which means I get to stay up and actually watch it like a normal person. Hooray! So that when those of you who are getting your kit on to go to work tomorrow morning, just think of my smiling face getting into bed, going night, guys. No, I'm joking. But yeah, no, I can't wait for Forbidden Door. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Really looking forward to Strickland versus Osprey, and of course, Tekla. Sorry, I've got to put Tekla in everything in a minute. Also, folks, can I just shout out because I think there might be a couple who have followed me from this channel that I'm on. Thank you to everyone at all the tech heads, I'm calling them. Thank you to all the people that have just joined my Tekla. What is it called? Is it called sub community? Reddit sub community. Reddit page, basically. It's called Tekla fan page. Not the most original title, but still. And basically, it's just devoted to the mighty Tekla because she is absolutely freaking awesome and should be made queen and king of the entire universe because she's brilliant. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to seeing Tekla tonight. Hopefully, she can get the business done. Um, and yeah, it's going to be absolutely awesome. Also, I'm not at work on Monday night, so I might be able to watch Monday Night Raw as well. I might actually I've been thinking about this because obviously most of you guys know that I'm going to be going into a new industry, shall we say, a self-funded one. Um, but I might be able to move a couple of things around so that I can maybe start watching Monday Night Raw. Now, look, I'm going to have to get, when I'm self-employed, basically, is what I'm getting at. I'm going to have to get up the same day as you guys because obviously there's going to be a lot of work for me to do, dispatching orders. I've got to get round to charity shops, get all stock in, blah, blah, blah. There's going to be a boatload of stuff for me to do. So I can't really be staying up till 4 a.m. watching pro wrestling. But if I do the because I'm basically going to be doing it 7 days a week. So that might be my lying day, possibly. I'm not too sure. But yeah, leave it with us. But I might be starting to do a little bit more, I don't know, wrestling stuff. I keep meaning to start covering NXT as well. I really want to see that. They've changed his name actually. The lad from Japan that was called Evil. Is his name Nakatoro at the minute? And I'm actually really like that Tony D'Angelo guy as well. He looks really, really impressive. So I wouldn't mind starting watching that. So yeah, there's going to be a few bits and changes. Few bit, a few things that are changing with the channel. Also, as well, if you have a look at my playlists, or you know what it says, what's coming up and everything, I had this idea a while ago. I think I was talking to Jack Styles. Shout out Jack Styles Wrestling, by the way. Please go to his channel because he's absolutely awesome. Does like video games. He's got his own wrestling league, and he's very, very good at what he does, and far better than the likes of old, grey bearded fat heads like me, basically. So yeah, shout out Jack Styles Wrestling. Um, but I had this random idea a while ago that I was going to start telling stories of the Attitude Era, and then it kind of went not dark, but I was like, hang on, wait a minute, how do I do that? I know it sounds really, really stupid. It's like, will you do what you do now and start talking about things, lad? And it's just like, yeah, but like I'm not sure format wise how that works. So I kind of put it in a dustbin for a while, didn't think about it. But the other day, because I'm so obsessed with Mrs. Tekla that I just showed you, I'm going to do a live stream on Tuesday morning. I think I've scheduled it as because I'm going to start doing about 2 or 3 a day, basically. Which I nicked the idea from Depression Total. Shout out DT, making moves over there now as a real life YouTuber. Very happy for him. And basically, it was going to be a story about like me watching Tekla last year, and I won't do too many spoilers, but it was when I was going through my depression and this, that, and the other. And Tekla was the one who I wouldn't say totally pulled me out of depression, but kind of in her own way, a little bit got me feeling a little bit better, basically. So it's just going to be my story about that. And then all of a sudden, it just hit me like, hang on, wait a minute, I know I can do this. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the Attitude Era. But I ended up going into full research and development mode. You might be able to see that, by the way. That's all the list of topics and stuff that I was going to discuss. I was thinking, right, well, you don't do Attitude Era, you just do your story with that person, I guess. I don't know how best to say it, really. So I've got so far, I've put two things on so far. One about Tekla. There's going to be one which is very personal to me about Stone Cold Steve Austin, because it was. I'm sure I've probably told you guys this before, but it was about, I don't know, a month or two after my father passed. I ended up putting wrestling show on by accident, basically, and that's when I saw Stone Cold Steve Austin. I won't give away all the full thing because there's no reason to tell the story then otherwise. So there's one about him. I'm also going to do one about CM Punk's pipe bomb, which might make some of you guys feel a bit old because I had the pleasure the other day of discovering that the CM Punk pipe bomb is 15, as in 15 years old. Couldn't believe it. Literally, I feel old enough, guys, as it is, and I'm literally like, well, I mean, surely that can't be right. And I checked, and yes, it is the 27th of July, I think, 27th of July, 2011. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I won't go through all this list basically, but Yeah, I just literally had like it was like this is how I get into it basically. So I've got Bray Wyatt that I'm going to talk about for the older kids out there. British Bulldog versus Bret Hart at Wembley 1992. That was one of the first big matches I've ever seen. Death of WCW. I know it's been done to death, but like obviously from my point of view and stuff. Owen Hart, I definitely want to talk about, but I need to have time to get that ready because Owen was an absolute dude. So I'll have to craft that and make sure what it is I want to say. Birth of AEW, Rowdy Roddy Piper, um, Brody King and AEW against a certain American law enforcement agency. My first ever WWE house show, which was in Sheffield in 1993, when my dad saw The Undertaker. And no offense to my old fellow, because he's not here to defend himself, but he nearly shat himself. Honestly, he was for a shoot legit scared of The Undertaker's. My mom hadn't smartened him up, I hadn't smartened him up, and all of a sudden, my dad wasn't good with that sort of thing. Like, ritualistic, like evilly stuff, and like literally the Undertaker came through the crowd, and literally, I never saw my dad scared ever. Like literally, he looked like he'd seen a ghost. Like, I mean, my dad was like proper black. I mean, I've never seen a white and black person in my entire life. He literally looked like bloody Casper the Ghost. But yeah, yeah. Shout out to Dad after I've just insulted my father on a live stream. Possibly a little bit about TNA and DX and NWO basically. So that is the idea, but from my point of view, I'm probably for the fourth one going to talk about the Attitude Era because that's easy for me to talk about because it links into my time in Derby and yeah, because the Attitude Era is just such a special time and I still look back on it fondly now and sometimes I do watch today's products and I'm like again, it's old man shouting at the clouds, and yeah, no, it was just a great time. Anyway, I'm completely off topic, so I'll go back. Let's have a look. Oh, we're signing from Atalanta. Oh, has he gone to Atalanta? Oh, fair play, fair play. Oh, yeah, thank you for letting me know, Cardi. Yeah, I was going to say that because the last I'd heard, I don't know. I swear blind it was Sheffield United. I don't know, but yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, mate, if you can get him back to his form, I mean, it's a bloody good signing. To be fair, I mean, I'm assuming it was it a free transfer. Sorry if you've already put that, by the way. I'll tune in tonight. Is it 11? That is a good question, Cardi. This guy's going to run his own business in a month's time. Jesus Christ. My poor son. God help him. Oh, excuse me. Crikey. I want to say, Cardi, it's 10:30. I'm fairly sure it's 10:30. It'd be about 10:30 to like 11, something along the line. So I'll probably be up during one of the World Cup match. Is there a World Cup match today, by the way, or is it the first non-World Cup day? I'm not sure if anyone knows. Just give us a shout because I haven't looked at the fixtures. Let's have a look. Clint, what? As in Stone Cold Steve Austin, what? Have you named your online store yet? I have carded. I want to be a little bit careful about giving it out just at the moment. It's not me. It's probably something I don't need to worry about. But you know the reason I always say, by the way, this isn't a paid promotion, blah blah blah. I know YouTube are a bit over weird with that sort of thing sometimes, and I don't want someone coming along and saying he's promoting his shop, blah blah blah. What's he doing? Throw him off YouTube. Yeah, look, I don't think that's a thing. Um, Also, as well, I have named it, but I'm not sure if this is going to be the actual shoot name forever. And I'm still getting everything together. So I will at some point. Put it this way: it's a very superhero-y name. But yeah, I should be all right to name it. I get the other reason I don't want to mention it cards just at the minute is I need to make sure that I'm definitely going to be doing. I mean, I'm pretty much 95%, but I still have to. I have to hand in my transfer request. Let's just put it like that. So, I think the transfer request is a month, but if it's 3 months, then yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look. I'm 28. I think CM Punk is the greatest of my generation. Um, yeah, well, yeah, mate. For this, for your generation, Cardi, yeah. For me, I mean, because obviously I'm a generation down from you. So my generation obviously was Stone Cold, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, D Generation X, NWO, China, Booker T, Sting, Diamond Dallas Page, blah 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 blah. So that was my generation. So going into the other generation, so I don't know, from Ruthless Aggression era, maybe going to when Punk left. So that sort of 9 year span, 8 year span. I can't think of many people who are better than CM Punk. I'd definitely put AJ Styles right up there for his body of work. I thought Jericho when he came back as like the ice cold killer person, which he based on Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. Javier Bardem, I think it was. He based all that character on that guy from No Country for Old Men. I thought he was absolutely bloody brilliant at that time. Um, like obviously it's not WB, but TNA people. Obviously, you had Samoa Joe, who was absolutely just revolutionary at the time. Kurt Angle was still pulling up trees, even when he went to TNA. Obviously, Batista was very, very good. Obviously, you had John Cena and all those people. But I think for his generation, put it this way, it would be a toss up between AJ Styles and CM Punk for me. But I'm more of a CM Punk fan, so I'd probably go agree with you and go CM Punk. Podcast people, I will get on to Liverpool minute, I do promise. Let's have a look. It's long with a 5 million obligation. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, sorry, Cardi, I'm completely reading that wrong. Oh, sorry, the contract. Sorry, I was just ignoring. It's along with 5 million. I was into an obligation to buy. Well, that's not that's not bad for someone who used to be I think on the fringes or even got called up to the England squad. It's a good piece of business that I reckon. Mr. McInnes might tip you over the edge, dude. Like this might be Rangers' time. I just look at him and think, well, and I don't mean this rudely to Hearts. It's going to sound constantly rude, and I don't mean it to be. But you've got to think with the superior standard that Rangers and the fans would expect, and superior facilities. Probably more, I would imagine more access to money than Hearts. I don't know what Rangers financial circumstances are, but you would imagine they'd be able to attract a hell of a lot more people than the Hearts. I don't know if I'd put Rangers as favourites. I think they'll go a lot closer than they did this season. I mean, like I said, it's a shame that Daniel Roll left really, because I'm sure Rangers fans would tell me to F off, but I think considering where Rangers were at the time, I think he did a really good job, to be fair to him. And in the end, you only missed out on that title by a few points. I mean, if that's the stupid thing with Rangers, had they not gone through that run, if Daniel Roll had come in, a month before, you might have been champions, who knows? So I reckon it'll be quite exciting again. I think Hearts I could see them possibly going again. Do you know what, Cardi, actually? Randomly as well, because I don't watch a lot of Scottish football. Can I just shout them out? I actually watched Motherwell a couple of times. Tell you what, mate, really, really impressed. Really, really impressed. What an excellent standard of football they play. Yeah, very, very impressed with them as well. So yeah, it'd be nice to it'd be nice for the Scottish Premier League to have these like title races now, and there's like 5 or 6 people going into the last week. I'm sure you would disagree, obviously, but like it'd be good because I mean Celtic just winning it for like was it I don't know 8 years of the bounce just got very laborious and very boring. But yes, yes. So good luck Rangers, basically. Are you incorporating the Geek Boy into the name? To an extent, yes. It's a spiritual incorporation. Yes. In fact, yes. No, I definitely. I'm sorry. I had to work out then which name was which, but yes, no. Part of the name Cardi of Geek Boy Meta is definitely going to be in this. Now, I'll be blunt. If I can ever do anything with this, I'm going to keep them more or less separately, but I'm going to keep like a diary, which I'm doing at the moment. I've got a playlist called Rebuilding Meta, I think I've called it, where I'm doing my charity shop runs and this, that, and the other, and showing people what I buy and go toy hunts and blah 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 to show how I'm building up the business, basically. Um, if there was ever a way where the two could cross over, i.e., I do this also professionally at the same time as being an online seller, if there was any chance of doing a cross promotion, then I'm not going to lie and bullshit anyone. I would love to do that, Cardi. Like, I don't like people who say, "Oh no, it's all about this, that, and the other." It's like I would love to make money out of YouTube. That would be awesome. Not gonna lie about it, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I'd love to do it, mate. I'd absolutely love nothing better. But obviously, that's going to take a lot of hard work, and we'll have to wait and see if I'm good enough to do either. But yeah, I'd love to do it, mate. Absolutely. CM Punk Styles Cena. Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Would that be my top three? CM Punk Styles. Because I'm a bit, I don't know. I know this is a bit ridiculous, but I'd have to think about putting Samoa Joe in there because, like, obviously I know Cena's a legend now. I'll be honest, at the time I was one of those let's go Cena, Cena socks. Just for that, I never had a problem with John at all. He was always like a really nice bloke. I never liked this thing of people says, "Oh, he's only got 5 moves." Oh, it's like, don't be bloody ridiculous. Of course, he's got more than 5 bloody moves. Um, but he did used to play on it, John. So fair play to him. But I used to really enjoy watching Samoa Joe, and I know it's going to sound like I'm saying, "Oh, Samoa Joe is better than John Cena," and people are like, "What the f are you on about?" But beauty's in the eye of the eye of the beholder, mate, isn't it? So, like, I can't honestly say that I was always a Cena fan, but now he's reached the end of his career. Obviously, look, he had a hell of a run. I mean, he's probably obviously you've always got Hogan. You're always going to have Stone Cold Steve Austin. Flair for what he did in territories, and probably The Rock, maybe Dusty Rhodes as well. Um, those are your big guys who have had the big runs. Um, but Cena, he's got to be in the top 3 best runs of all time. Simple as that. I'm sure in time when Roman retires, he will have a case for that as well. But like for the length of time Cena did, because don't forget, I mean, obviously Hogan worked for years. Don't get me wrong, but like he did have breaks as well at times. Um, I think John. I mean, John basically worked 23 years straight. I mean, he was very, very rare. I mean, whenever Cena was injured, you know he was injured because he just worked like a bastard all the time. Um, it's very rare that Cena got injured. I mean, obviously, I know he had the injury just before the Rumble when he came back like 5 months earlier than expected. And then he had that ridiculous thing with Seth Rollins, where Rollins poked him in the eye or something like that. And I think he had a couple of other injuries as well when he had to go into the knife. But I mean, other than that, I mean, that 23 years, Cena must have been available for 20 every night. But yeah, there we go. We spent 40 million last season. Hearts spent about 5, which shows how good McInnes done at Hearts, considering Celtic spent 30 plus. Well, yeah, like I said, Matt, he comes across as a very good coach and like a very, very intelligent man. So I would fully expect Rangers to do something this season, and maybe they might give Europe a good go or something like that. Because I'm assuming are you in the Europa League? I'm guessing. Hang on, wait, does that mean Hearts are in the Champions League? Or am I being a complete idiot? Is it just said? I don't know. Let's have a look. Europa, yeah, all right, fair enough. Motherwell is going to be a star, score some belts for New Zealand at the World Cup. Cool, 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 cool. Hearts play Champions League qualifier. Oh, good. That'll be, well, obviously, bad luck for you that you can't, but that'll be quite cool actually to see if Hearts could get to the Champions League group stages. group stages. That would be a hell of an achievement. To be fair, I'm more focused on WWE. Don't think Joe done enough of your including his indie and TNA. Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, Cardi. You'd probably have to make it WWE exclusive because um, at the time, obviously, this was when the whole indie boom was starting to take off. So a lot of people were going over to, and I didn't watch stuff like this at the time, but a lot of people were very dissatisfied with WWE because there was no competition after WCW, and obviously people know now that Jeff Jarrett set up TNA, and they were doing like weekly pay-per-views, and then I forget what the gentleman's name was who created Ring of Honor. No, it's completely escaped me. But a lot of people were going over to Ring of Honor to watch the wrestling stuff. The indies they weren't red hot at that time, but they were just starting. I know there was a lot of movement in British wrestling at the time. And yeah, because I think people had just like, I mean, let's have it right. The product that WWE was putting out, I'd say 2000, maybe late 2006 to maybe 2008, so just before Jericho came back. I mean, some of it was diabolical. To be fair, WWE did get hamstrung a little bit as well, because obviously, I mean, if you lose The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the space of 8 weeks, then obviously the product is going to suffer, isn't it? So, yeah, and then I think after Punk left, I'm not saying for the whole 6 years before AEW, but I mean, there were at least 2 or 3 years in that 7 year spell after Punk left where I mean the product was just diabolical, absolutely borderline unwatchable. There were because I watched wrestling I've watched wrestling every single week practically since 1997. Um, there was a time when just because some of the shows that WWE were putting on basically were all unwatchable, and I was just literally like, right, let's get to Becky Lynch, and I would just watch it for literally. This is before Becky went Becky 2 belts as well. I was just watching it for Becky Lynch, just because I really liked her and stuff. And I mean, then AEW came along, that sort of pushed me back into it. And then if you look, obviously when Vince had his troubles, that's when Hunter basically got the pen, basically, and the run that whatever's happening at the moment. One thing I will give Triple H for that run that he had as the head booker was incredible for 18 months too. I mean, he's literally turned WWE into one of the. I mean, they were always one of the biggest companies as well, but they are now literally global, and I don't think that happens without Hunter. Generally, I don't. The booking at the minute is, yeah, could be slightly better. I think it's fair to say, but yes, there we go. Ring of Honor was so good back then. Yeah, yeah. No, well, I got into it late, Cardi. So I started watching Ring of Honor. Um, how did I watch Ring of Honor? I can't remember that. I think there was like this service that I subscribed to or something. It was like an all you can watch wrestling service thing on free. God knows what it was. I can't remember, but I think I paid it was something daft like a couple of quid a month for it. Anyway, that's the first time I saw Tommaso Ciampa, because he was still wrestling for ROH back then. Um, and then I was like, who is this Kevin Steen guy? And like, why is he my size? And I was like, oh no, I don't mean that because obviously Kevin Owens is a fantastic athlete, and I'm not comparing myself to Kevin Owens by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean as in like not muscly. I mean he's very very muscly, but he's like of a certain size, shall we say? So yeah, I watched that. Kevin Steen. Who else did I watch at the time? But then because I was watching it, um, these alerts would come up saying, "Oh, did you know that Daniel Bryan used to work in Ring of Honor?" I was like, "Oh, okay, fair enough." And then obviously you learn about Tyler Black being Seth Rollins and CM Punk working Ring of Honor, and then obviously Nigel McGuinness, who because I only knew Nigel McGuinness as Desmond Wolfe, I had no idea who he was. He just turned up randomly on TNA one day and started beating up Kurt Angle, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" You know what I mean? But then it all kind of coalesced and came together. It's like, all these people have worked with each other then. Interesting. And then I heard about AJ Styles not doing Ring of Honor, but like he's fought against a few of those lads as well. Yeah, it all started from there really. So I've kind of got more interested in the indie and the under promotions of the business now. That's why I watch so much AEW. I've actually sort of started watching a bit of Stardom as well. Um, I'd like to watch that Riot Girls thing that Will Ospreay is co-owner of or co-promoter. They ran, I think it was Wembley Arena earlier this year. If I ever got the chance, Cardi, to be honest, say if I wasn't a Liverpool fan, this channel would just be exclusively pro wrestling, um, and I would literally just talk about it like obsessively. I don't think the missus would ever get me down from this bedroom, to be quite honest. But yeah, this is why I mix it up with Liverpool a little bit. But yeah, I should maybe just call it Liverpool Wrestling. In fact, that's a brilliant idea. I think I'll change the channel. Speaking of Liverpool, guys, and Cardi as well, if you just bear with me 1 second. To be honest, I'm just going to run through bits and pieces of Liverpool because there wasn't that much I was going to talk about. So, but just to run you through some bits and pieces, just very very quickly. First thing I wanted to say, and this hasn't got much to do with football. Can I please extend my best wishes, condolences, sorrow, and just best thoughts and prayers to Cody Gakpo and his wife. I don't know if the lady's his wife, so apologies if she's not married. For losing their child the other night. I'm not going to get preachy and everything, but I've got a 12-year-old lad who drives me absolutely bloody nuts downstairs, and I can't imagine the devastation. And obviously, I don't want to, of a parent losing a child at any stage of their development. It's yeah, it was horrendous, absolutely horrendous and appalling news. I can't really say much. Obviously, I've never met Cody Gakpo, and I probably never will do. But Cody, if you're out there, mate, the only thing I can say is this: I know people take the piss out of us for saying this, but Liverpool is family, and we all get together during times of crisis, and that's one good thing. A lot of supporter bases are like this as well, obviously they are, but I think this is one thing Liverpool fans are really really good at, and I think I can speak on behalf of every Liverpool fan and say, mate, take as much time as you need. We're all here for you, your family, and yeah, I respect the hell out of you for carrying on playing at the World Cup. Take some bottle and some balls to do that. And yeah, if you need a break, mate, just take as long as you want. And whatever happens, even if you get sold, we will always be here for you. So, um, yeah, that's all I can say really. So just shout out to Gackers, and I won't say get better soon because obviously it's not the sort of thing you can really make a full recovery from. But yeah, just shout out to Gakpo and his wife and your family, and you can. I hope you can see your little angel one day. But yeah, I just wanted to say that at the start. The Klopp thing, like I said, guys, it was a bit of a cheat me putting that thumbnail on. Uh, well, no, not really, because he did speak about Liverpool. So, off the top of my head, because unfortunately I neglected to make notes on this. So, Jurgen was being interviewed by Shaka Hislop, which I found very interesting because I am of that age where I can remember Shaka Hislop playing for Newcastle and for West Ham United, and he was a bloody good goalkeeper. I think he ended up being like one of the British record goalkeepers, I think, at the time, but he was really, really good. He used to, I think it was him and Pavel Cernicek, from what I remember. And then there was a third one that Newcastle signed. Yeah, they ended up in like this goalkeeper war in the 90s. It was really weird. But yeah, shout out to Shaka, top bloke. Really enjoys work on ESPN. He's one of the less idiotic ones on that show. Right, that's my last sip of water, folks. I promise. Right, no more water. Um, But yeah, no, he interviewed Klopp, and I thought actually fair play to Shaka. I thought he asked some really good questions. Very, 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 very highly intelligent man, that bloke. So he asked Jesus Christ, sorry, he asked Jurgen about Germany, and Klopp said he was very impressed with the Germans so far, but he was basically hinting at, well, they are not obviously not as good as France and Spain at the moment, and they're early on the development, which I think is fair enough because I think France and Spain for me are the two best. I don't think you can really argue and say there's anyone better because I don't think maybe Argentina with the way they've got through the group, but certainly not outside of those three for me. Um, but he was kind of talking about one of the reasons why Germany might be a bit behind, and again, I'm paraphrasing it. They've just dropped the interview. Actually, it's 22 minutes, I think. So if you just type in Jurgen Klopp ESPN, the interview's on there now. So just take a look if when you've got time. And Klopp was kind of like something along the lines of when you have a league. I don't think he name checked the Premier League, but like when you have a league where you've got access to X amount of players that can play in the national team, it's easier than Germany, who may have what 50 or 60 at a push across the league. But because obviously the Premier League, I mean, bloody hell, you must be bordering about 100 players that could be playing for England at the moment. Maybe not 100. That's probably going a bit too far, but what 70 odd at least. And Klopp was basically saying there would be 60 overall who are just German, basically. So he was talking about that. I thought the Salah stuff was interesting that he talked about because Shaq asked him a question about coaching. Basically, was it difficult to coach Mo Salah when obviously he's a genius footballer, but you also need to do work for the team? And Klopp was sort of like, well, not really, because like, yes, there are some bits and pieces I want him to do, but at the same time, he's got to be Mo Salah. You know what I mean? They did kind of touch on not the West Ham game specifically, but Klopp actually said he got texted back by Salah when Mo in Egypt qualified. By the way, shout out to Mo. Very, very good achievement that. And I think Klopp and him exchanged some messages and stuff, and he said he kind of slipped and went, "Oh no, we're very, very good friends now. Very good friends now." Which kind of suggests to me that like towards the end, perhaps they weren't. Again, that's not muckraking. It's just like, well, folks. I mean, most of you saw that footage. There will be fire and all that business. So that probably makes sense. I'm trying to think what else he was talking about. Obviously, he was talking about his job in RB Leipzig. I thought Shaka was going to go there and ask him about Diamande. Um, and there are a couple of hints at it because he was talking about his job and like that he's head of the overall. I mean, obviously, most people know what Klopp's job is, but he's like the head overall of RB Leipzig in terms of the football academies and training and manager hiring and this, that, and the other. And you do Klopp did not say this, just to clarify, but you do think to yourself because he was kind of like, obviously, RB Leipzig are used to losing 4 or 5 players a year. That's just our business model, and you kind of think to yourself, Klopp still has massive links with Liverpool. I mean, he came back as the bloody manager for God's sake. Um, there's no way that Klopp isn't involved in that Diamande thing. I'm not. I'm certainly not saying, oh, he's responsible for the transfer. I'm not suggesting that at all. But what I am suggesting is, I'm going to break my rule again, folks. The water, really sorry. I'm probably suggesting that Jurgen may be in the loop for the transfer. Now, I'm not saying he's Agent Klopp by any stretch of the imagination. He's going to try and get us Diamande for 5 or 6 million quid or something daft like that. But I mean, is it unreasonable to think that maybe Diamande's camp or Diamande may have spoken to Jurgen about his opinion? Because one would imagine he's not going to be recommending Manchester City. Let's just put it that way. Right, this is definitely the last wall. Right, I'm putting it away now. Putting it away. But yeah, no, guys, just in all seriousness, try and see if you can catch it. I just thought it was quite fascinating interview. I'm just trying to think, was there anything else that came? I think the one thing that people are concentrating on a little bit, like this is why I'm quite honest with my thumbnails and stuff. I'll only put bits and pieces in that I know that I've seen. There's a lot of people that clicked up that interview now and says, Klopp says he would manage Liverpool again in the Champions League if he had the chance. Hooray! And it's like, no, Shaka gave him three options. One was manage Germany in the quarter-final of the World Cup. The other was Anfield under the lights on a Champions League Wednesday. And I think the other was just managing the league or a cup final, something along those lines. So he had three chances. Klopp did not say, "Oh yeah, I want to come and watch Liverpool," because straight away people are like, "Oh my God, Jurgen Klopp's coming back." It's like, oh, good. I'm sure Andy Areola is delighted about that he's just been fired before managing Liverpool Football Club, and because that would be highly illegal, would probably get compensation north of £40 billion. I would have thought. But yes, no, Jurgen Klopp is not coming back to Liverpool, folks. You need to accept this, unless we were ever to be relegated. In which case, I'm sure he'd come back. But yeah, no, it was quite interesting actually. Jurgen was on top floor. I think my main takeaway from the Jurgen interview, I just like that he's old school Jurgen again. He genuinely looks really, really happy. And look, I miss the guy. I really do miss Jurgen. Really, really do. And I'll be honest, folks. I cried like a baby when he gave his speech. This is quite embarrassing because I like to consider myself I am a Northerner, and I'm sat there with two of the Northern lads and my brother, and we're all like, right, we're all crying, lads. All right, fair enough. And literally, I mean, he started talking. Literally, I think all four of us were hugging each other, and I think when one lad stopped crying, the other one started, and yeah, there was just tears all over the table and in pint glasses and various other things like this, which was quite embarrassing. But obviously, that's the mark of the man. He was absolutely brilliant. But I'm just pleased to see Jurgen because I love that smile on his face. And if he's really enjoying his life and what he's doing at the minute, that is good enough for me. If I'm being honest, would I like Jurgen Klopp to be the Liverpool manager again? One more time for one more season? Of course I would. I'm not going to sit here and lie and bullshit people. But I would rather see Jurgen Klopp as the happy bloke that he was when he first came in. I'm not saying he was miserable or anything like that, but like that interview he gave, looking back on it, he said, I've run out of energy. I didn't realise how, I'm not saying he looked gaunt or anything, but when you actually looked, I mean, he looked exhausted. Completely. I mean, it's a miracle he got through the season. I mean, the fact he won us a cup as well was amazing. But yeah, no, I'm just really, really pleased to see the gaffer doing really well in his life, enjoying himself, enjoying his holidays, and doing well at the World Cup. And yeah, just shout out to Jurgen. You are the best of all time, basically. The other bits and pieces I was going to talk about was, if you just bear with me 1 second, folks, Bruno Guimaraes, which again I've put in the thing, and I put a question mark because I'm not going to go on one journo's thing, but Ben Jacobs was on Redmen TV. Shout out to Redmen, best Liverpool fan channel in the world, apart from mine, obviously. Yes, I think Mage and Co. Are slightly further down the Liverpool covering experience than a big fat lad who's sat in an attic in South Leeds at the minute. But yeah, I'll give him a run for the money one day. But yeah, no, shout out to Redman. But Ben Jacobs, again, that clip is on YouTube. If you just go on Redman, it's somewhere on there. But Ben Jacobs, the journalist, was basically, I'm paraphrasing again, but there were some conversations with Bruno's representatives not to put a bid in, but to suss out his availability. Again, obviously nothing has happened because unfortunately I found out and literally I groaned when I heard this. I was just like, oh, well, that's that is. I always thought that Bruno Guimaraes, and I don't know why, because I know he's been around for 3 or 4 years. I had it in my head he was about 25 years old. For substitute, again, folks, those of you who have kids will know why I do this. You just lose concept of time, unfortunately. Bruno Guimaraes is not 25, he is 28. And as soon as I heard that, I went, Well, we're not buying him, are we? That is not. I'm not throwing shade on Bruno Guimaraes. Personally, I love watching Bruno. I think he's a fantastic footballer, great engine, great passer. Um, got a shot on him. Always puts a shift in. I really really like him. Has this annoying habit of scoring against us as well. Um, I really really like Bruno. The fact he's 28 means basically there is no chance because of the model of Fenway in Boston, which I completely disagree with because the one thing Liverpool do need in that area desperately, desperately is experience. And you need someone who can put himself about and who can be. I'm not calling Bruno a bit of a bastard, but he knows his way around a football pitch, put it that way, and he knows a few tricks here and there. I would love a midfield of Guimaraes, Soberslai, and Gravenberg. To me, I think that would allow Soberslai to get further forward. That allows Gravenberg to go a little bit further forward, but then he can drop back, and then you've just got Bruno in the middle of the park controlling things, and he can put a tackle in, which is something Liverpool are sorely lacking in the minute. I mean, the amount of times that we just had people running through us last year, it was just ridiculous. I mean, I remember the Bournemouth goal at the start of the season, and obviously we didn't know what was going to happen at that point. But I remember Semenyo's second goal. Don't know if anyone else remembers it. And obviously, none of us knew how rubbish Liverpool were going to be at the time. But sorry guys, I'm just trying to fill something up for a minute. Yeah, we didn't know how rubbish Liverpool's defence was going to be, but literally Semenyo went from, I think Sobo lost the ball, if memory serves, on the edge of the penalty area. Semenyo picks up, one of the Bournemouth players basically gets blocking. Ball goes to Semenyo and basically runs the length of the field. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a fantastic goal by Semenyo. Shout out to Mr. Garner, by the way. Hopefully he's fit for next week, because that injury didn't look good. But I mean, he went the length of the field. I mean, literally, to quote Bricktop from Snatch, he went through bone like butter. It was, by the way, that won't make it sense if you haven't seen Snatch. If you've never seen Snatch, by the way, that's a Geek Boy recommendation to go and watch Snatch. It is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, and like the amount of times we just had our defence ran through. This is kind of my my worry with the way that we play with Wirtz. Now, Wirtz, for me, if I had the choice, I would just play him behind a front two. That is what I would do, and this is why I'm not a professional football manager. Because if I played the formation I wanted to for Liverpool, every single game would be like 7-8 either to us or the other team. Basically, I would love to see something like Bruno Guimaraes or Adam Wharton or whoever the case may be, with Sobo and Gravenberg. I mean, maybe Alexis McAllister would be fine being a substitute. I mean, that'd be pretty decent, actually. Alexis McAllister just comes on for the last 10 minutes here and there. I don't think he would accept that, though, to be honest. And I would love nothing more than to have Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike with Wirtz just behind them. And yes, I realise how short that would make us for obvious reasons, but I mean, not really, because I mean, it would still Wirtz would still be part of the three, but I would just have Isak and Ekitike as your main strikers, or whatever it is you want to call them. In fact, I'd just literally let those three go and say, right, I'm not saying go and play wherever the F you want, obviously, but just have them alternate, and Ekitike can run down this wing, Wirtz can go down that channel. Isak's probably going to be more through the middle, but yeah. Why did you buy Florian Wirtz if not to supply Alexander Isak? That was my issue with Slot. In amongst a lot of issues, like I said, I still have a lot of respect for the gaffer, and I always will do, no matter what people think of Slot. Gave me the greatest day of my life by winning the league, and I'll never be able to express my gratitude towards him for that. But even when Wirtz and Isak, and they weren't on the pitch a lot, I'm like, well, surely we bought Wirtz to just be the playmaker to find Isak or Ekitike or Chiesa or Ingamoa or this, that, and the other. I don't know. I mean, this is the other problem with my idea, because obviously at the moment Ingamoa will get his Ingabo will get his chance because basically Ekatike realistically is going to be out until at least February, maybe January. How long is it going to take him to back up speed to be normal Hugo Ekatike? I would probably suggest maybe April. By that point, the season's basically over. So he's not going to be fully up to speed. Obviously, I don't want to talk about Cody Gakpo at the minute because I don't think it's hugely respectful, but obviously you don't want to ask the question, but is Gaka going to be that? I mean, who knows after what's just happened? I mean, maybe they might just want a fresh start and fair play if they do. And again, Cody, if you are like suffering, we're all here for you, mate, honestly. But obviously that's got to be considered. Chiesa, I don't think will be there at the start of the season. Jadon Dans has missed, 2 years worth of football. Will Wright is 17 years old. So, yeah, I mean, obviously there is chance to put Ingamoa in that team, but my issue is, I'll stop going on about Wirtz guys mix. That's not really the point I was trying to make, to be honest. But my issue with Wirtz in midfield is I just don't see him competing with rock hard bloody central midfielders. I really don't. I think it. Don't get me wrong. Actually, I thought people were a bit harsh on Wirtz. I thought he gave it a bloody good go at times last year, but like it. I mean, it's like boxing. This way, you can't have like heavyweights fighting heavyweights. I mean, for all that there might be the best boxer in the world, that's great, but power is going to outmatch technique at some point. You know what I mean? So, like, it's a bad analogy, but you know what I mean. At the end of the day, if he goes up against, I don't know, Prime Rodri or something like that, he's going to get his arse run over. It's as simple as that. So, I think the manager's got a lot of things to think about. I mean, my only other thought about this, and I did write this about on my Substack, which I need to get back into at some point, was unless Liverpool can go to an old school 3-5-2. So my idea was obviously Ali in goal. You have basically Frimpong and Kirk as de facto wingers, basically bombing up and down the right and the left. Because again, why are we not utilising their pace? For I mean, I know Kirk isn't as fast as Frimpong, but he's still pretty rapid. And I really hope that Iraola is going to get him playing like he did for Bournemouth again. So I'd have those two as my rapid wingers. I would literally have obviously Verge for one last season, and I would just have, to be honest, this whole thing about Leone and Xhaka, oh, they're not ready for the Premier League. Tough. We have no more defenders. They have to be thrown in. Let them learn from one of the best defenders of all time. Simple as that. Crack on, get on with it. And if they make mistakes, they make mistakes. And then they'll be a lot better for it next season. Basically, next season is a transitional season, as far as I'm concerned. And then you're free. See, this is the problem. Like, if you do 3-5-2, if you were to say get a Bruno, you have Szoboszlai, and then you have Gravenberg, do you then put Wirtz, say, behind Isak? Like in games like against Arsenal or something like that. Say when you're away from home or something, you need a few men behind the ball. And then maybe when you're playing, with not being rude, obviously, but if you're playing Ipswich at home, perhaps you can have Wirtz being in central midfield, and then you can bring back in Ingamoa or bring back Ekatike. So tactics as and where they needed to be honest. So yeah, I don't know. It'll just be very interesting to see who Areola picks and what formation he goes. I mean, there's probably a formation I'm not even thought of, but yeah, certainly be very interesting anyway. But for my money, would I like Bruno Guimaraes? I would love Bruno Guimaraes. He's one of those players I really enjoy watching. Sadly, he's 28, and anyone who's lived under the regime of Boston and Fenway knows because he's 28, that is not going to happen. Sadly. Obviously, the World Cup Reds, just very briefly. There is now a situation, because I forgot the damn group games. I think Florian Wirtz can meet Alexander Isak. I did write that down earlier. I think Germany have got Paraguay and is it France, Sweden? possibly. I'm not too sure. So Wirtz is either going to get, well, basically Canate or excuse me, or Isak. Which, working that out, that works out quite well for us because we should at least have one. Well, obviously not Canate because he's at Madrid now, but we could theoretically by this time next week have Wirtz and Isak back home, basically, or at least going on the holidays, and then you start thinking to yourself, right, well, Liverpool's pre-season training allegedly starts July the 11th. We're on, what's it now, the 28th? So you're talking they're going to get at least 3 weeks off, which means that Isak would be available, what, 20th of July, maybe? Which obviously I don't wish that on. Well, I mean, I do. Obviously, Liverpool head on, but like that means that they can go straight back into training with Viriola after the 3 week break, which I think all the players get. I forget who the Dutch have got. I don't think they've got the worst path in the world, actually. Which again, Liverpool head on. That is really sorry to Virgin, Ryan, and to an extent Gakpo. I mean, who knows if he's going to play that, but yeah, I don't think that they might have to play Croatia potentially. I'm not too sure. Alexis McAllister, I must confess, I can't remember who Argentina have got. So really sorry, folks. I'll have a look after this. But again, I think their route's not horrendous till the quarters or something along them lines. And then the last little funny one, Luis Diaz can knock out Ghana, who are my national team. And I've been the one all year saying I wish Luis Diaz had stayed for Liverpool. And this is how karma works, folks. Because I will probably be shouting abusive lexicon at Lucho for scoring against us. Hopefully, I'm not. Hopefully, we can beat Colombia. But obviously, like I said at the start of this, there's a hell of an asphalt, to be honest. But we'll have to wait and see. The last thing, guys, well, there's two things actually. I'll end on the positive, but I'll do the obviously very, very big negative first. Excuse me again. I've mentioned this before on the other live streams. Sorry if I'm covering old ground, but just obviously again, just because I want just to send support and best wishes out. It's Diogo's. Well, it's the anniversary of Diogo Jota and Andre Silva's passing on Friday, 3rd of July, basically. I have put down that I'm going to do a live stream that day and basically just have a few drinks and talk about the happy stuff with Diogo. So not focusing, so much on his passing, but just like all the fun stuff of like when he told the Leicester City fans to F off and like gave the business to the Everton fans where he scored the fourth goal and stuff because he was a bit of a shit ass Diogo sometimes. But just to say, that really badly affected me last year. If you don't know, like I said, I had a lot of mental health and depression issues at the time, and that set me back way back in my recovery. I was devastated because Diogo Jota was pound for pound my favourite footballer, and I thought he was a lovely, lovely man as well. Long story short, folks, basically, I don't know how I'm going to react. I'm not going to sit there ball crying all day or anything like that, but like I've even been toying with the idea as doing something random as getting on a National Express coach and going to Anfield on the day, as in making a decision on the day and just laying a wreath or just being in the city or whatever, which I don't know if necessarily how I am is the best of ideas. I also can't rule out me doing something daft like that either. Or I could end up going to Kirkstall Abbey and just wanted to be on my own. I might want to be with family, or because I have a bit of this about me on the very odd occasion, I might just want to go to Headingley and go to the original Oak and drink until the rest of me is as numb as my arse. So yeah, basically, folks, I don't know how I'm going to react, but what I will say is, again, if anyone wants to talk about Diogo, this channel is going to be open all day. I will respond with messages. I'm on Blue Sky, Threads, Reddit, What else am I on? Instagram and Facebook. Just type in Geek Boy Meta, and I'm on all five of the. I'm on Substack as well, but obviously that's a writer's platform. But any of those channels, if you just want to vent, or if you want to talk about Diogo, if you need someone to help you get through it a little bit, have a bit of a cry, think about Diogo's what he meant to you and everything. Yeah, just reach out basically, and don't suffer in silence on your own. Don't have any idiot saying, "Oh, it's a football. You shouldn't know. You shouldn't still be sad after a year." It's just like sod off. Simple as that. Diogo meant the absolute effing world to me. So if you do, yeah, if you want a bit of support, folks, then like I said, reach out, and hopefully this time next Friday, I might even go to a beer garden or something, just have a couple of pints and just talk to you guys about Diego. But like I said, just an apology in advance. I might not want to. I don't know how I'm going to react personally, but yeah, just to point out that that is this Friday, and it's going to be a bit of a day basically. To end on a good note, however. Oh, actually, two good notes. Two good notes. I think me and Mrs. Messer have agreed where our summer holiday is going to be earlier today. And I mention it because it's football related. Basically, folks, long story short, we've had a bit of a year in house Meta, as most of you know. And long story short, the wife was meant to get her and my son's passports, and for various reasons, she's not had a chance, and we are running out of time to book anything. So we were thinking of going back to London, which I was cool with because, like I said, I go and do vlogs and live streams. I did one from the Emirates last year in the London Stadium, I think. Um, and we were thinking about that. And all of a sudden, my missus said to me, "What about Newcastle?" Because we both really like Newcastle. And I was like, "Do you know what? We've not been there for about 7 years, actually." And then I got Vlogger's Head, and I was like, wife was like, "Oh, does that sound good?" I was like, "Yeah, St James's Park," and she literally just went. and I said, I called after and said, "Oh, Sunderland's not far off there. I could do a live stream from that." And Mrs. just basically went, "Yes, dear, fine, whatever." Long story short, folks, basically, might be going to Newcastle. Newcastle also has. I love Newcastle. I think it's a great place to live. Really like Geordies. Always been really, really super friendly to me. Very, very nice people. I think it's a fantastic city. Very, very friendly. I mean, yeah, they have. Newcastle has Richard Heads the same way that we do in Leeds and this, that, and the other. Look, unfortunately, this should be the title of an album. Basically, we all have Richard Heads. Sadly, every city has them. So yeah. But yeah, basically, might be going up to Newcastle. I'm not sure when we're going on holiday. I want to say it's the second week of August. I think me and the missus might be booking it tonight, actually, funnily enough. Well, I say that, I will have to owe my missus for 3 weeks, which is quite embarrassing because all the money's gone already. Yay. This is why the business has to work. But yeah, no, hopefully we'll be going to Newcastle. They've got a wicked Forbidden Planet there. Very helpfully as well, very, very helpfully, in I think it's Whitley Bay and South Shields, or it could be North Shields. I'm not sure which one. I think it's South Shields has got a wicked charity shop run. I mean, literally, it's one of the best charity shop runs in the, well, it was back in the day. Um, there was just like this insane run of charity shops. Literally, as soon as you get out of South Shields, you literally turn around this corner, and literally the charity shop's the first one there. And there must have been nine, I think, something like that. Now, me and the wife and the son haven't been there since my lad was a very small, but I think he was about 5 or something like that. So you're talking this is 7 or 8 years ago. God knows when it was now. Whether it's changed, I don't know. But in general, like I think Newcastle's absolutely boss. Love the Tyne Bridge and all that. Not so keen on that massive F off hill when you get down to the quayside. For those of you who have been to Newcastle, know what I'm on about. So you get to the bottom end of the quayside, do that beach walk, and then come back, and then you go, shit, have I got to walk up that? And it's just very, very unpleasant. But yeah. But yeah, you've got the monument thing around the corner. Some really good shops actually in Newcastle. They've got a good charity shop with runners in the town as well. Like the Weatherspoons, obviously, because I'm a cheapo. they did have an anime shop and also a Funko shop, and it was in Newcastle. I forget what the centre's called. It was like a spin-off centre basically in Newcastle. I went down there for a lad's stag do a few years ago, and ended up in like this anime shop, and it was absolutely freaking awesome. But that's around the corner from St James's Park. Obviously, where I'm going with this is if I do go to Newcastle, yes, there will be a vlog, shorts, and a live stream basically. Because funny story, I did when I first started this do a Newcastle vlog basically. And one of my mates who's a big Newcastle fan, he's just had a baby by the way. Congratulations, lad. Basically said to me, uh, "Oh, Leon, thanks for doing the Newcastle thing." Yeah, yeah. I was like, "No problem, mate." It's like, have you seen the video?" So I was like, "No, I just put it on." It's like, "Dude, you might want to look at the video." Looked, and I've done it upside down. So you've literally got people like this going towards James's Park, and there's people walking upside down like bloody Lionel Richie dancing on bloody ceiling and all that, and I'm just literally like, "Oh my God Almighty, you absolute effing moron!" So yes, I actually do need to redo the St James's Park thing. So hopefully, if I can get this over the line with the wife, unless she's changed her mind in the last hour, which is possible. Big up the wife, big up the wife. Yeah, that might be booked, and then hopefully I can get to Newcastle. I was thinking about getting to Middlesbrough, but again, because my geography is shite, I just thought, oh, it's in the northeast. It means you'll be able to see Middlesbrough from like the Tyne Bridge, and it turns out Middlesbrough is not that close to Newcastle. I think Sunderland is. I don't know how expensive or feasible it would be to go, because I've never seen the Stadium of Light, and that's one of the stadiums I've always wanted to go to be honest. So I might go to the Stadium of Light if money allows, and this, that, and the other. Never been to Sunderland. In fact, no, I'll tell a lie. I went to Sunderland in 1995, and someone tried to beat us up. So I went with my mate who announced he was a Newcastle fan. I didn't know at the time they had a rivalry. I was like this 14-year-old lad, like, well, why they wanted to beat us up for? It's because I'm a Newcastle fan. It's like, why did you tell them that for? It's like, I can't do a Geordie accent. It's like, I'm not having the Mackhams take the piss out of my club. It's like, yeah, I want to live. Please don't do that again, basically. So, yeah, long story short, folks, I might also be adding Newcastle to the summer festivities. The last Liverpool related thing is I am going to be booking my hotel for Liverpool versus Monaco. So that's Andoni Iraiola's first Liverpool home match. Obviously, it's pre-season friendly. It's not a league match. I will try and get to as many Liverpool matches as I can next season, but I'm going to be reliant on the favours of the Bank of Mother and possibly the Bank of Wife, given that I'm now going to be self-employed. But yeah, I will definitely try and get to as many games as I can do. I think actually me and my brother might be going to the one the week afterwards as well. I'm not too sure. I need to have a word with him. But yeah, just to let you guys know, I will be at Anfield. Well, I mean, I might be at Anfield this week, potentially. I'm going to try and avoid it because I don't think that's necessarily going to help. But like I said, I don't know how I'm going to be with the Diogo thing. But I will definitely be back at Anfield on August the 9th, which is a Sunday, which I have not told the wife, and that is her sleeping day. That's going to go down like a fart in church. Yeah. It is randomly a 2:30 kickoff, which is really weird, but still. Basically, I'll probably have to leave Leeds because that's where I live. I'll probably have to be leaving about 8 o'clock in the morning because I do not want to risk missing the game, obviously. And obviously, it would be an early kickoff time, you get less time. So, yeah, I'll probably be leaving about 8 o'clock, get to Liverpool hopefully for 10. I might even go and have a cheeky beer first thing in the morning, which is a bit rank, but still. Grab myself some scran, head over to the game. I will do a live stream for you guys, obviously, as I usually do when I'm over there. And then if you don't know what I do on the channel, basically, there'll be a match day vlog. I usually do a travel vlog as well, and also I will do YouTube shorts of when people have scored, basically. So, by the way, as a cheap self plug, If you want to look at any of my Liverpool content on here, if you just go to all of my content, basically is Geek Boy Does. So Geek Boy does wrestling, Geek Boy does comic cons, Geek Boy does toy hunts, Geek Boy does music, and so on and so forth. And Geek Boy does horror, because I'm a massive horror movie fan. And I've got Geek Boy does Liverpool, but I've also separated into another channel now. So there is Geek Boy goals and not goals and assists, goals and something or other. I can't remember what the damn playlist is called. Basically, if you look for the playlist, it's like Liverpool goals and goals and vlogs or something along that line. It's definitely got goals in the title. Basically, I'll have a look at my channel and try and work out what I've actually called everything. But yeah, if you just want all the goals and stuff without the, i.e., without my big fat head waffling onto you, all my matches are there. Match against Southampton. I'm trying to think since I started doing this. Obviously, I've seen Liverpool boatloads of times, but I not before I started doing the YouTube channel. So there's the Southampton match after we just won the League Cup final. There was the Spurs match in the League Cup semi-final, which was the last time I ever saw Diogo Jota, so that's massively special to me, that one. Liverpool versus Ajax, that's also special because I got to see last time we saw Sven Goran Eriksson. Shout out to Sven. After that, Athletic Bilbao, the pre-season friendly, although the trick of that is I got to see 2 games in one day. I was absolutely like made up by that. That was awesome. There's another 2 Legends matches I've been to. There was the Dortmund one last year, and there was also the Chelsea one. I think I've been to another competitive match. I can't remember what it was. I've been to Barnsley. I saw the Barnsley FA Cup match last year. The 4-1 when Wirtz scored that worldie and Szoboszlai scored that worldie and then fell on his arse in the penalty area to let the Barnsley player score. If you remember that, yeah, I don't know what Sobo was doing to this day, quite frankly, but there you go. Have I been to another one? I feel as if anyway, long story short, folks, all my Liverpool vlogs and stuff are on there. So all the goals, yeah, there was a beautiful one that Thiago hit against Borussia Dortmund legends as well. I mean, I would still have Thiago playing for Liverpool now. I mean, he was what a mate, what a man, what a player. So yeah, all that stuff is on there basically. And if you want the Liverpool stuff with my big fat head chatting as well, and I cannot for the life of me think why you would want that. But if you do, it's Geek Boy Does Liverpool, where it's got all the Liverpool content on basically. Like I said, I'm doing a summer show called Liverpool the Friday Nighter. Is it called Liverpool the Friday Night? It's something to do with Friday night anyway. Like I said, leave that one with us this week. I may do it on Thursday, just again because I don't know. Honestly, guys, I don't know how I'm going to react to the Diogo Jota thing. I really don't. So I'm just like giving myself a bit of an out, and hopefully I'll be okay, and hopefully everyone else is as well. But it's going to be a bit of a tough one. I think we all know what's coming. So. And yeah, that was about everything I wanted to say about Liverpool. Really, I can't think of anything else. I mean, obviously we've had these daft links with like, when they write these things like, "Oh, Liverpool have been advised to go and get," and you just like, don't be ridiculous. I mean, the worst one this summer has to be David James recommended we sign Marcus Rashford, and it's just like, what, JMO, like, lovely bloke. But what time did you start on the ale this morning? Don't be bloody ridiculous, So hopefully, I mean, new signings going to have to be fairly soon, you would imagine. Because, I mean, I think, I think it's already about 4 or 5 weeks since the season finished. It's just like, what is going on? How can that possibly have been 4 or 5 weeks ago? But yeah, hopefully there'll be some signings anyway, and I will be back to talk about it next week. So yes, thank you all for listening to me waffle on for that last 20 minutes. Thank you to all the podcast people who listen to me waffle on about non-Liverpool stuff related to that. Right, I'm just going to go back to the comments. Sorry about guys, you know what I'm like, because I just get obsessed with him. Let's have a look. You should watch Brian versus Morishima final battle with Honor 2008. It's one of the best smashes I've ever seen. Oh, thank you, Cardi. What, there we go. Evidence. I get a lot of my tips from Finn as well, and from DT when he's on. Let's have a look. Brian versus Morishima. Final battle with honor 2008. Cool. There you go. Thank you very much, Cardi. Yes, that is my writing, by the way. That's what you've just typed in my writing for. My writing is shit. It is dreadful. Yeah, I can't write. But yeah, I will. I will add that to my list, my dude. Like I said, I've got this. I haven't got it on my laptop at the moment, minute, because by the way, folks, the laptop is finally in the shop. Thank God Almighty, and I'm getting the other one repaired as well. So this time next week, I might actually have two laptops, not one. So yes, because obviously I need my laptop pretty urgently because I need to fill out paperwork, and this is not the time for laptops to be dying, and it really has not helped. But yeah, anyway, yes, I will put that Cardi in my little section. Like I said, it's mostly got Finn's recommendations and a couple from DT, so I will add that one. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it on my YouTube playlist because I've got my favourites list as well on my channel, which I might have to move at some stage actually. But anyway, would be a good deal for Arsenal. They need some experienced legs that cover from Rice. Agreed. You should try Edinburgh or Glasgow. Both Glasgow teams and Edinburgh teams stadium right next to each other. Well, to be honest, Cardi, I was thinking of that, mate. I really was. It's just because basically it's me and the missus being slack AF, as the young people may say. I don't know if the young people say that. We just haven't got round to it, Cardi. And obviously, I'm sure you'll know, obviously being roughly from the area. I mean, I had a look at Edinburgh the other day. I don't have a kidney to sell at the moment. I was obviously I know we've left it late, so obviously the earlier you get the deals in, better. But I'm just literally like grand and a half. What is all that? Because obviously we added on hotels and then obviously travel because even the missus drives, I don't, and we don't have a car to be honest. We've always got to whenever that's the only thing that we need the car for really is just our holiday. That's the only thing we get screwed over in every single year. And then we looked at the trains, and I was just like, we were both just like, can't afford that. So it's looking like Newcastle, to be honest. Yeah. But I would love to come to Scotland, Cardiff. I haven't been. I can't remember the last time I went to Scotland. I think that was about 21. I think something like that. I want to say it was like 2002 or something like that. But it's been years since I've been to Scotland. I would love to come and do the stadium tours. I'd love to go to obviously your lot's ground. I won't say the other half of the city, out of respect for you. Obviously, I wouldn't mind seeing as a football fan. Obviously, I'd like to go and see the two Edinburgh clubs. You know what? I'd quite like to go to Pittodrie. Actually, I don't know why. It's always just seemed like one of those football places that I feel as if I should go to, kind of thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I'd love to go on a little football tour of Scotland. I really, really would. That would be really, really good. Even some of the lower league teams, because like I like going to lower league grounds. You know what I mean? Because it's proper people's football, not this sanitized shite that we get these days. But yes, Scotland will definitely be on the agenda. Hey Finn, how you doing? Oh, speaking of Finn, there we go. Hi Dad, did you see the shorts I uploaded last night? I haven't seen them, Finn. However, if Finn is still here, right? Look at Finn's channel. Cool. I will do, Finn. I will add that to the list, mate. I will watch it before Forbidden Door this evening, and I will give you a like and a shout out, subscribe. In fact, I'll give you a like, I'll shout subscribe now. Everyone on the channel, if you would like to, please go to Finn Does WWE because he is, to use Wolverine thing, the best in the world at what he does. No, but Finn is a very, very articulate and very talented young man. who leaves my very strange, weird channel where I film things upside down and fall over into quarries and get myself into ridiculous nonsense and get lost finding hotels and and have batteries running out during Gunther and Cody matches and all sorts of shit that I've got up to. Yes, his channel is just ever so slightly technologically superior than mine. So yes, shout out Finn does WWE, and please like and subscribe to him. Let's have a look. I'm also going to do every Money in the Bank winner in late September. Oh, that'll be good, Finn. That'll be really, really good, Matt. I'll look forward to that. I'm trying to think what my favourite one is, actually. I really love the one, obviously, as a CM Punk fan, Finn. I really, really like the one when Punk won it the second time. I want to say it was WrestleMania, possibly. Was it at WrestleMania? Can't remember. I know there was one that Jericho won because obviously he was the guy that actually came up with the Money in the Bank concept. For anyone who doesn't know, WWE would not have Money in the Bank were it not for Chris Jericho. It was actually his idea, which is a bit random, but still. Favorite Money in the Bank? Do you know what, actually, Finn? I can't remember much of the. I can remember a lot of the WrestleManias and SummerSlam. Money in the Bank. I kind of don't have any recollections of it at all, to be honest. I think the stupidest one would have to be that Drew McIntyre one. I was raging about that. I mean, I know I'm a Punk fan, but it's just like, haha, I've screwed you over. You've just lost Money in the Bank in one night. And I'm like, really? Like, could we please stop doing this to Drew McIntyre? It's like he's Scottish LA Knight. Could we please stop dicking about with LA Knight and Drew McIntyre and just let them have their belts for a few months and actually see what they can do? I was livid when McIntyre lost that belt before Mania. And it's not a thing at Jacob Fatu. Obviously, Fatu had to put Drew over. Fair play. Because obviously Drew's off. Well, Drew was off doing Highlander. I think Highlander finished like a month ago, so you would imagine they're just thinking of an opportunity to bring Drew back. Funnily enough, actually, I think that could be quite interesting because Drew was always the one talking about Roman and the Bloodline. Now, if they switch the Bloodline as pure heels, and it's like there's no one else left to defend the WWE, maybe that's how you get Drew. I mean, to me, Drew McIntyre is already a star, and it's outrageous that he's being. Look, he's in a very good position, McIntyre. And look, he might want to go into the films now for all that. I mean, if Highlander does well, then that might be it for Drew. I mean, he's funny as F. He's entertaining. I mean, the selfie thing that he did with Damien Priest was, I mean, that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. He's very British and very sarcastic. I mean, the physique the man has got. I mean, Crikey O'Reilly. Christ, I wish I looked like Drew McIntyre. He's an excellent wrestler, great technician, great selling. He's got great finishing. I mean, there's just nothing not to hate about McIntyre, and just the amount of times he's been screwed. I'm just hoping the screw over of Drew McIntyre is going to lead to something one day, because like that's why Drew's a good heel. If you look at it, he has been screwed over. Like for years now, there was the whole CM Punk thing cost him the title because of Damien Priest Money in the Bank. He then got counted out by CM Punk in his own city, no less. Then he lost again because of CM Punk. I think he's lost a match because of Seth Rollins. Then, I mean, Cody basically, if you look at it, Cody cheated at least once against Drew McIntyre, if not twice, which he also did against Kevin Owens, by the way. I'm just throwing it out there. I would love in an alternate universe for Rhodes and Reigns just to turn, which I know obviously WWE can't do because of the merch. I would love Drew to come back and literally just say, "What did I tell you?" Puts him over straight away. I would love Drew McIntyre to be one of the biggest stars, and he is one of the biggest stars in the company. But like, is he ever? Are they ever going to let him get to the same? I always got the impression that Punk wanted to work with McIntyre, and obviously it's like, yeah, I hate him in real life. Blah, 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 blah. Like CM Punk does not work with people unless he specifically has to. Maybe there might be some heat with him and Drew in real life. I don't personally, for my money, I think it's that whole thing's a work. I'm not saying they're good bodies who sit around eating ice cream together at each other's houses or whatever, but I think the whole thing is a bit of work between them. And they had a fabulous set of matches. The CM Punk Drew McIntyre was one of my favourite Hell in a Cell matches ever. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, hopefully when Drew comes back, he can have a big pop and he can work his way from there. But do I have any confidence in WWE doing that? Not really. Hopefully I'm wrong this time. Let's have a look. Hope you're doing well, mate. Yes, I am, Finn. Not too bad. Not too bad, mate. Sorry if I missed you, Finn. I was on a whole tangent a while ago. Just because I wanted to get everything out of my brain because I will forget otherwise, as you know, because I'm an old man. Let's have a look. Hello, yeah, again. How you doing? You're all right. Glasgow would be much cheaper than Edinburgh, probably, but definitely expensive. Yeah, that's the thing, Cardi. We had a look. We did have a look earlier in the year. It's just we basically me and the missus have been dicking about and haven't we just like have left it unfortunately right until the last minute, and now we've been left with like, right, do you have £2,000, wife? Nope. Husband, do you have £2,000? I most certainly do not, wife. No. Oh, what about Newcastle? 300 quid for 3 days. Cool, that'll do, mate. Job done. There you go. Bearing in mind as well, folks, that's it's right deal as well because we went on Premier Inn, funnily enough, and you've actually got. I think we've got a deal because we've got it. You know when you can bookmark something and reserve it. It's something like 320 quid for Newcastle City Centre Monday till Friday, 2 bedrooms again because me and wife have got the whole sleeping issue because she's got the sleep paralysis and I've got the sleep apnea. Blah 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 blah. You've got to feel sorry for my lad. He must just sat there going, "Can't I just have a normal set of parents?" But yeah, basically 4 day stay, 320 quid, 2 rooms. I mean, what's not to love? The only thing with Newcastle is from Leeds. I don't know why on that run it's a right pain in the arse because like Leeds to Newcastle's, I don't know, an hour and a half, hour and 40, something like that. It's not a big distance at all, and like literally you can end up with like a bill of like 100 quid or something like that. It's like bloody. I could throw a rock at Newcastle from my house. How come it's bloody nearly like 100 quid? You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the only thing that we'd lose out money on. But if we can get it booked ASAP, then we can get some tickets and this, that, and the other. And like I said, I will bring you some nice content from Newcastle because it's a super nice city with lovely people. But there we go. Don't get me started on Drew. I was at pay-per-view in Scotland. Yeah, I remember you saying, Cardi. Yeah, no, I forgot about that actually. When Punk cost Drew against Damien, it nearly started a riot. The WWE officials looked genuinely concerned. Like, do you know, Cardi? My main thing about that, I think I've said this to you before. Those, when Punk sort of went into the crowd. He didn't go into the crowd, but he sort of stood against the crowd like that. For a start off, I was like, Phil, what are you doing? But it was more the I'm assuming they were Scottish. I mean, they might have been. I don't know. They could have been foreign tourists for all I know. But like, if they were Scots, I was like, lads, you do know people have got picture phones. I'm not suggesting like that people should be going around beating up people because of wrestling results. It's guys, look, it's a wrestling match. You don't need to be beating people up. At the same time, there are some very, very funny people on this planet at the minute with very, very funny ideas about life and retribution, shall we say. I would not have been um, prancing around with CM Phil Brooks Punk at that moment. So I hope they got away unscathed. Because I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm sure that there was a Scottish lad on me. Um, I think I did a live. Did I do a live stream? But I don't know if I'd been doing a live stream at that point. I spoke to another Scottish lad about it once, And I don't know if it's true enough, but I think he said something along the lines of like Punk had already got a car booked, as in like right. So you need to get me out of here before the gates open, for obvious reasons. This image of Phil running down the bloody high street with all these angry Scotsmen chasing after him. No, I'm sure that didn't happen, obviously. But again, in all seriousness, I'm not sure if I was those. I don't like I said, I don't know if they were Scottish lads, Cardi, but I mean, I would not have been posing with the man because obviously that photo went all over the shop. So yeah, I hope they survived that incident. Fingers crossed. I've been to many WWE Glasgow shows. Quite a lot of English and Irish. Oh, yeah, it could have been. Yeah, well, this is what I mean, Cardi. It could have been. Do you know what, Cardi? That's one of my things with Scotland. Actually, I really want to go to. Oh, I'm going to look like an idiot now. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cardi. Is it one? Is it one PW? Have I got the completely wrong name? The Oh, for God's sake, I forgot his name. The big lad that was in TNA. Brain's gone. Brain's completely gone, folks. This is what happens when you get to 46 and you forget people's names who you've actually seen at two TNA house shows. That's it, Grado. Yes, thank you, Carter. ICW, that's the one. Yes. Now I would love to go and see an ICW show, pal. Just because I've heard so much about it and everything. Obviously, the hall that they had, the hall. Sorry, the arena that it's held in is quite iconic and stuff in British wrestling stuff. I would genuinely like to go and see a show there as well. So that will have to be another thing when me and the missus do go because, like, oh, we need to go on July the 22nd, dear, and she'll just be like, is it football or wrestling? Football. She can read through me now, basically. But yeah, I'd love to come and see an ICW show. Yeah, no, I heard about Hendry because Andrew. I remember when Drew came, excuse me, back to ICW. Um, I don't know if I think he was in it in the first place, wasn't he? So obviously he got fired when he was in that ridiculous 3MB. I'm not even going to go into that. I know a lot of people thought it was funny. I was one of those who did not feel that Mr. McIntyre's talents were being utilised properly in that group, shall we say. But yeah, I remember the footage when he came back and he came to Scotland. And then obviously he did all those indie shows. Then he had his TNA run and this, that, and the other. Went back to the indies, and then I just love the fact Drew bet on himself. And it's like, right, I'm going to start at NXT because apparently, by all accounts, they were just like, oh, do you want to come back on the main roster? He's like, nope, NXT, and just built himself back up and became world champion. You can't really say more. Like I said, but Cardi, I have nothing but respect for Drew. I really, really respect him. Because that fella has worked his arse off, and obviously the shit he's been through with his mother as well sounds horrendous. But yeah, no, he's a proper sound bloke. Really is a sound bloke. Piper Niven as well. Oh, yeah, actually, thank you for reminding me of that, Cardi. I keep meaning to do this. Can I just send, before I go, folks, a shout out to Piper? I know she's not doing super well at the minute. I saw don't know if anyone saw the Instagram things, Instagram images from Piper the other day about the broken vertebrae. I think it's the vertebrae. It looks gnarly. It really, really looks gnarly. I hope she can come back. I mean, look, first of all, I hope the woman can have a decent quality of life. Look, that's first thing. Like, if she can't come back to wrestling, but she can have decent quality of life, that means a lot more than me seeing her prancing around in a wrestling thing, basically. So, all the best, Piper. I think she's an absolutely sound woman. Like, and do you know what? I actually enjoy Piper's work as well. I actually thought she was getting herself quite over as part of the secret Hervit. I showed my missus that once. She was just like, the secret King Hervis. Is that what we get now? For goodness sake. I was like, yeah, dear, you've come a long way in the last 40 years. It's just like, who named this bloody group? This is just so bad. But yeah, no, I've enjoyed watching Piper. So look, I hope she can come back. But main thing is Piper. I hope you get better soon, love. Yeah, I just hope she can have a good quality of life and recover. And I mean, if she can't wrestle again, booking, agent, teaching. Look, there's plenty for a talented woman like Piper Niven to do. Yeah. Genuinely, I hope she comes back though. So yeah, shout out Piper. Right, folks. We are at 7% battery, so it is time for me to depart because I do not want to be rude and watch this go on. By the way, guys, I am in negotiations with family members, mother. Hopefully, the phone slash laptop slash technology snafu will be getting sold before the end of the year. Through generous benefactors who hopefully I can repay at some point. Because it's just basically if you keep wondering why does this guy keep going at like 2 hours? Well, for a start off, like I'm not used to going into a third hour, and secondly, it's basically the bit at the bottom of your phone where normal people can just go, oh look, my phone's running out, I'll just charge it. Ding. Basically, that little on an iPhone, the little slit like hole where it's the thing's meant to go in. Basically, I put that where it's meant to be, and it doesn't work. So at the moment, I don't know if any of you guys have seen those charge. Those circle ones that you can buy, and you rest the phone on top of it, and then it charges it through like the main frame of it or whatever you'd call it. That's the only way I can charge. Now, obviously, if I lay it flat, I can't be talking to you like this, going hello, because it will just look really weird. So that's why it can never be more than 2 hours. Unfortunately, this is kind of why. Until I get a new phone, basically, guys, like I would very much like to start doing watch alongs. Like I am seriously tempted to do Monday Night Raw, very tempted, but I think at the moment it would have to be one half of Monday Night Raw. I just don't think I'd be able to do all of it, basically, just due to the fact that that can only go for a couple of hours, unfortunately. But yes, hopefully that's going to be getting resolved in the near future. Let's just put it this way. I'm going to owe a lot of family members a lot of favours, so I need to make a good go of this, basically. Right then, guys, I'm going to head off now. So I should probably say hello to my family, actually, because I came up here for said I'll be gone for 40 minutes, and that was like 2.5 hours ago, whatever. Brilliant father again. Right, guys, I'm going to be back on at I think, as I said to Cardi, it's 10:30 this evening. I'm fairly sure I've set it for 10:30 this evening. It could well be 11, but I'm fairly sure it's 10:30. Reason I've set it for 10:30 is because AEW starts at 12, so I might watch a little bit of the buy-in with you guys, and then obviously when the pay-per-view starts, it starts at 1 in the morning. And then I will. So I'll do Night of Champions recap this evening. I have lots of thoughts on the booking of the show. Yeah, I'll talk to you more about that later. And I will also Forbidden Planet. My goodness, this is what I need to go for. Forbidden Door. There is a chance I might come on briefly, but a lot of you guys will be asleep and getting ready to go to work in a couple of hours. Forbidden Door is due to finish at 4:45 this morning. Sorry, 4:45 this morning, even. So yes, I might go on for my American friends who might still be up and wired by that point for like 20 minutes. But long story short, the Forbidden Door live stream will be the following night. I think I've scheduled it for about 10:30 again, and I think I've got something scheduled for tomorrow. Can't remember as well. But yeah, like I said, guys, to be honest, I'm going to be on 2 times a day, probably for the foreseeable future now, and hopefully I can start upping it 3 times a day when I can get technology sorted out. But yes. thanks everyone for joining. It's been very nice. Cardi, it's been a pleasure speaking to you again, my friend. You're always welcome. Thank you for your support, mate. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, pleasure to talk to you, mate. And I will hopefully see you and other people tonight. Yeah, thank you for joining in as well. It's very nice of you. Always. Yes. Oh, welcome to. Oh, thank you, Cardi. Excellent. Right. Oh, brilliant. Right. So I can watch the World Cup, do my live stream. I might have a chance to watch AAA. I think that's probably thrown a bit too much. But yeah, we'll see. And then I'm definitely going to watch from the door. Cool. We have a very cool evening coming up. Excellent. Nice one. It may also feature some beer this evening as well. Don't tell them this. Anyway, guys, cool. Nice one. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you tonight about 10:30. Take care of yourselves. Have a wicked Sunday, and I'll see you soon.